Good morning, everyone. Welcome. Welcome to Success Mentorship Class number 370. Can you believe it? 370. And we have a topic today that's going to change your life. A topic today and a speaker today that's going to just blow you away. Our topic for today is the art of doing business God's way, and our speaker is Dr. Stan Breakthrough Harris. I'm going to do the official introduction in a moment, but I want to just first welcome everybody on YouTube, our mastermind group here on uh, on Zoom, and remind everyone that invite you to visit our website, herbertharris.com. You'll get information about our book, The 12 Universal Laws of Success Plus, get an opportunity to book a complimentary success consultation. If you're stuck in the mud, give me a call. We can give you some faith, give you some help, and help you fly again. But without further ado, let me tell you something, folks. Every now and then you meet a person who literally transforms the lives of many people. And Dr. Stan Breakthrough Harris is truly the breakthrough master. He's a 10th degree black belt. He's in the Black Belt Hall of Fame and the Speakers Hall of Fame. And one of the unique things about this gentleman is he not only is the poet. When Dr. Breakthrough starts speaking, and you hear it today, he's able to string words together like they're notes on a musical scale. But more importantly, he can help you make your breakthrough. As he said, he sets you up and God makes the breakthrough. But I'm telling you, without the setup, it would be a challenge. So you're going to hear from Dr. Breakthrough in a moment. Let us get centered so we'll be ready for his profound message. Let's do our meditation. Let's sit straight up in our seats. And this morning, let's put our hands on our knees with our palms up so we're open and receptive and ready to receive this powerful message. Take a deep breath in through your nose and hold it. Let it out slowly. Take a deep breath and hold it. Let it out slowly. And in the space of peace and relaxation, we affirm, I am at peace with myself. Let us affirm that together. I am at peace with myself. And just let that peace sink in. And in the space of peace and relaxation, my mind is open, receptive, and ready to learn. Let us affirm that together. My mind is open, receptive, and ready to learn. Let that sink in. And together we say, and so it is. All right, let me bring Dr. Breakthrough on. I'm so excited today. It's rare that you get a chance to hear from, one of your teachers, one of those people that has transformed not only my life, but the lives of many, many other people. And so this day, it's a treat for all of us. Welcome, Dr. Breakthrough. You have to open your mic.
Hey. Thank you, Doc. Man, great to be here with the great encourager, the master encourager himself. As I said earlier, the brother like no other, the master that helps people turn around the disaster. Too strong to be weak, too sweet to be sour. You can't take credit. It's all God and your wife's power. Doc, thank you so much. Man, I tell you, it's just been amazing, amazing. The times we've got to share the platform together over the years. And my goodness, I think the first time we met, Tawana Williams event, I think we were both speaking there with And anyway, but you have just been just a blessing to so many people. And I just want to thank you for that. I want to thank you that all these years you've been doing this and just, I mean, it's just amazing, making a difference in this world. And for each and every one of you to take time out of your schedule to be on something like this, I thank you for it because, again, you're making a difference in your life. Somebody, company asked me to speak and anyway, but they were saying about, some of the personal development stuff. They said, well, a lot of our people said it's not real sexy. We should focus on some other stuff. And the owner said to me, "What do you think?" And I said, "Well, it's, the company that you run." So I said, "But I will give you one thought. Personal development may not be sexy, but it's the only thing that makes people successful." So I said, working out to become a black belt champion, it was 4 hours and sometimes 5 hours a day working out. That wasn't the sexy part. Now, the sexy part is when you get the championship, when you get vote, but you don't get that sexy part until you've done the thing that makes you successful. And so here's one of the things I always tell people, truly successful people, we do things when we feel like it. We do things when we don't feel like it. We just keep doing things until we do feel like it. Ooh, there you go right there. So anyway, but hey, thank you very much. Again, they call me Dr. Breakthrough, and I always give a disclaimer. I can't provide a breakthrough. I can just prescribe the breakthrough. However, when people follow the breakthrough prescription, God Almighty provides the breakthrough they desire and deserve, and a breakthrough. It's exploding through barriers that at one time seemed insurmountable. And so we're going to talk about today the God kingdompreneur, the God type of success, doing business God's way with God's richest blessings. And earlier, and when you're talking about being at peace with yourselves, and that's amazing. That's powerful. But you know what I found out? I couldn't be at peace with myself until I knew I had peace with God. And when I had peace, when I made my peace with God, which Jesus did that for me, then I have the peace of God. Now, my friend, it's super easy to have peace with myself. And so many people, sometimes they skip that, my friend. And so we like to go all the way to the root of the, well, like my mentor said, you're going to end up with the truth. You might as well start with it. Right? And so we're going to do that today. So we want to talk to you again about that because think about this. Here's a question for you. What on earth, you should be asking yourself, what on earth is my heavenly purpose and assignment? See, there was a song that was old-fashioned song that says, I'm here to do the king's business. That's why we're here. And when you understand that, you understand you have a higher calling. When you understand you have a higher calling, now you understand you can get power, my friend, a power that many have never tapped into. And so it's not about a religious thing. I'm not a religious person, but I got a relationship with a living God. And by the way, let me ask you this question, a little off topic, but are you living life? Are you allowing life to live you? Let me say it again. Are you living life or are you allowing life to live you? My acronym for life, LIFE, write this down. Live in favor every day, right? Yesterday was Friday. And I always say TGIF to people. And I said, but TGIF to me is something different than what other people mean. So what do you mean? TGIF to me stands for thank God I'm favored, not just on Friday, but 24/7, just like you. You've been blessed of God. See, that's what people they don't get it. They don't understand it. And guess what? The more that we submit and yield to him, the more we walk in that blessing. And the more it literally, my friend, comes to fruition where it's poured out upon us. So, it's just amazing. My life, I always tell people, just was a mess until I ran into the master. I met somebody who could take anybody and turn them into a somebody. Matter of fact, my claim to fame is I was just a nobody that God and I made into a somebody. And now I'm committed to telling everybody he can do the same, if not more, for anybody. And so, my friend, so what we have to learn to do is because again, I'm going to talk about some things. When I talk about kingdompreneur, doing business God's way with God's blessings, we have to do some, watch this now, washing of our brains, right? Some people talk about brainwashing. No, we need to do some washing because see, our brains have been dirtied. It's been dirtied with you're nothing. You'll never amount to be anything. It's been dirtied with the limitations. It's been dirtied, my friend, with oh, you're not this and you're not that. Our brains have been dirtied, and so think about this, my friend. Think about this. If a person goes long without washing their body, it starts to what? Smell. Matter of fact, do you know? Some of my family members still they call me Stank. Like Stank. I don't even stink anymore, but they still call me Stank, right? Because that's what they call me when I was a little guy. I guess I must have. Anyway, but here's what I'm saying, my friend. Here's what I'm saying. The Bible talks about be transformed, Romans 12:2, by the renewing of your mind, the renewing, and it talks about cleaning, being clean, being refreshed. And so I found out my brain was so dirty. Again, if I go long without cleaning my body, there's a smell. And so many people going so long without cleaning their brain. That's why I love what Dr. Harris does here, because the different speakers and the times you're being poured into, it's helping to wash the brain, out of the negativity and the doubt and all the I can'ts and the excuses and the limitation, which, by the way, if you understand, see, this is why we want to do business God's way with God's blessings, because when you understand who you are in God and what he thinks about you and what he wants to do through you and what he wants to do in you, my friend, then you understand this. There's a power that's unlimited that when you can release it through you. See, I was trying on my own. That's what the world taught me. Learn to be sharp, learn to be smart, learn to be self-sufficient, self-made millionaire, learn to be, and it's all based on self. But when I realized the kingdom is not based on self, I realized the kingdom is based on submission to the King of Kings. And when you can submit to the King of Kings, he now, get this now, takes some of his authority and gives you dominion to rule over your assignment. That's why when I do business, I know I get to dominate. Listen carefully. I get to dominate. You know why? Because it's one of the promises of God himself. In Genesis chapter 1, verse 28, let me just give you this thought here real quick. It says here, and I mean, first of all, it says in verse 27, when he talks about God made us in his image. Oh my goodness. But it says in 28, and God blessed them. God blessed them. Now watch this. The word blessed, if you look it up, literally it means empowered to prosper. Oh, you got to get this. You got to get this. See, so many people, they teach to be, do, and have, and that's great, and we need that. But I found out most people leave out the thing that's even more important than be, do, and have. The first thing God said before be, do, and have is learn. You got to first learn. You got to learn who you are. You got to learn whose you are. You got to learn what your assignment is. You got to learn who, if you submit to this all-powerful one, and I don't talk about the universe, I'm talking about the God who created the universe, my friend. I know him by name. And listen, when you submit to him, I'm telling you, there's a power, there's an authority. I didn't have it in the world. I tried doing it the world's way, my friend. Now I do it the word's way. And when I found out from the word, he says, God blessed them. And God said to them, I am blessed of God. And again, the word blessed, you got to think about it now, empowered to prosper. In other words, God's not going to tell me to do anything. He's not going to lead me anywhere without giving me the power or the wherewithal. Now, wait a minute. In my natural mind, I think I can't do it. But in my spiritual mind, when I surrender to him, now he says, you don't have to do it. You have to yield to me and let my power flow through you, my friend. See, that's the only reason why this little guy that grew up in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, beaten, tarred, and feathered by a teenage gang as a 6-year-old boy. My dad left when I was 3, never came home, never called, never sent mom a dime. I mean, went through physical abuse and verbal abuse and sexual abuse. And listen, my friend, and got kicked out of school. Listen, I was so bad, I got about to get kicked out of public school. Mama figured out a way to put me in Catholic school, and I got kicked out of there, right? I mean, my life was a mess, but I'm telling you, my friend, but when I ran into the master of masters, and I learned to submit to him, my friend, then I found out, my friend, I found out the power doesn't have to come, get this now, from me. It just comes through me. And by the way, if you realize one thing, I'm from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, but that's not really where I come from. You and I really come from God. You gotta understand that. This is what I'm talking about. Kingdompreneur, the art of doing business God's way with God's blessings. I can't do things the world's way. I tried it the world's way, but when I ran into the master of masters, like I mentioned to you, I think it was that Peter fished all night and caught nothing. Now wait a minute, Peter, he's a master fisherman. Peter, he's been doing this all his life. Peter, he owns a business, and he probably taught other people. He's fishing all night. He's toiled and he caught nothing. And watch this. The master appears, and the master says, cast your nets on the other side. And people are like, wait. I'm the master here. I got this. We've been, no, that ain't going to work. See, nevertheless, wait a minute, at thy word. And Peter submitted. And when he did, not just there was so many fish that the net started breaking. He called the other ships, and other ships came, and their nets were sinking, and the boats were sinking. There was so. Wouldn't you like to build a business where there's that much abundance and that much bounty and that much? Well, first of all, you got to understand. You got to learn something, my friend. You got to submit and understand. You have been blessed by God when you submit to Him. You know, in the world, they're not even joking about it anymore. It's like, listen, they're just surrendered to Satan. And some people say, well, I just don't believe. Okay, fine. But what I'm saying is this. I'm saying they understand, because there's only two sources of power. There's God has ultimate power, and then there's Satan that's the deceiver, my friend. And what he'll do is he'll give you some quote unquote power now, and you have to pay the rest of your life or pay in eternity. But God says, no. You might have to pay a little bit now, because I'm gonna refine you a little bit like gold in the furnace, silver in the furnace, but it's refining you. But I'm telling you, I'm setting you up for success. And when it dawned on me one day that I've been blessed by the best, matter of fact, I learned to talk to myself now. Every day I say something like this: I'm too blessed to be depressed. And if I ever got depressed, I'm too blessed to stay depressed. I'm too glad to be sad. And if I ever got sad, I'm too glad to stay sad. I'm too anointed to be disappointed, too elated to be agitated. I'm too legit to quit. I'm too grounded to be confounded, too grateful to be hateful, too gifted to be restricted, too good to be withstood, and too saved not to be getting paid. Business is booming and checks are zooming. I'm happy on purpose, my friend. And I'm telling you, see, somebody this morning, they were saying that motivators, that they had to remain motivated. And I said, there's a whole level beyond motivation. It's called mastery. And when you get to that place of mastery, see, it's not about this motivation, starts trying to stay pumped up. No, when you get to a place of mastery, when you've mastered knowing who you are and whose you are, and you've mastered submitting to the King of Kings, where His power can flow through you, my friend. It's like if I plug something into the outlet. It's not this thing. It's not the little microphone that I plug in. No, the power is in the outlet. And I'm telling you, if you learn to do business, that's what I love about what Dr. Harris do. He lets you understand, my friend. You've been put here on assignment, my friend, and there's a power that wants to work through you. And I'm telling you, if you're like Peter, you've been toiling, and it's like, no, I'm telling you, you got to learn to listen, submit to the voice of God. I'm telling you, when you do that, you can learn to do business God's way with God's blessings. And so listen, my friend, I'm talking about an outpouring. I'm talking about, my friend, something that man can't explain. How do you explain this guy that fought against home-based business all my life because I heard it wasn't a good thing? And finally, when I saw the light, I'm reading the Bible one day, and it's like Jesus sent them out two by two. And I'm like, oh, wait a minute. Okay. Maybe that's a system. It's just a system of doing business. And I got started. And in that company, the first company I started, I became the rising star. And guess what, my friend? And all of a sudden, people were like, how are you doing this? And I couldn't explain. All I know is I've been learning to surrender and understanding who I am in Him, and then listening and obeying His voice. You know how that little something, and you can't explain it, but something's leading you, something's telling you. And by the way, I call it GPS, our gentle prompting spirit, God's prompting spirit. You shall hear a voice behind you saying, this is the way, walk ye in it. When you turn to the left and when you turn to the right. And when you know you've been blessed or empowered by God, Nehemiah 2:20 says, the God of heaven, He will prosper us. Therefore, we, His servants, shall arise and build. The question is always asked, what would you do if you knew you couldn't fail? But see, people in the world that ask you that question, they don't know where it comes from. I know where it comes from. And the question comes from Nehemiah 2:20, when Nehemiah realized, wait a minute, we've been blessed. And so the Bible says, and God blessed them in Genesis chapter 1, verse 28. And He said, be fruitful and multiply and replenish the earth and subdue it and have dominion. Ooh, see, God says, I'm calling you. I'm sending you on assignment. Listen, it's like a king. that says, okay, go colonize. Here we had a lot of colonization, but it's the wrong kind of colonization. But God says, no, I want you to colonize for me. I want you to represent me. And I want you to have a different culture. I want you to have a different way about yourself. See, you're not going to rule over people like everybody else does. No, you're going to serve people out of love. You're going to use a strategy of love, but your strength is going to come from me through you, and it's going to make such a huge difference. My friend, I know it. People sometimes they're like, I just don't get it. I'm telling you, it doesn't come from you, it comes through you. And listen, when you submit and surrender, you now realize the power can flow through you. And now you're set up to have dominion. Watch this. And when I submit to my King of Kings, he makes my assignment submit to me. And so I've been blessed to be the top of 7 different companies in this industry. The thing I used to look at and say, man, I don't think I could do that. And I was right. I couldn't do it, but God can do it through me. When I surrender, all of a sudden now I have this power. I get this wisdom, my friend, and I operate now. He takes my natural, get this now, puts his super on top of my natural, and we have supernatural results. I never forget one company, my friend. One company I got started literally within 5.5 months later. I had 22,800 people on the team, my friend, and making over $100,000 a month. They paid every week. It was $25,000 per week. Oh, wait a minute. Did I forget to tell you? When I started with that company, I was homeless. Oh, did I forget to tell you? When I started with that company, I was phoneless. Oh, did I forget to tell you? When I started with that company, I was not just phoneless and homeless and phoneless, I was carless. Yeah, and put all my eggs in one basket, and it broke, my friend. That was a beautiful basket, but that's when I learned to have a diversified income. But I would walk around saying this: I'm a rich man, extremely blessed and rich man that happens to be low on cash. But my God and I were changing that fast. I said, I'm extremely rich man that happens to be low on cash, but God and I are changing that fast. See, when I understand, that I am blessed and I'm highly favored. And so, okay, this is a learning curve. This is something I can learn from. But guess what? I'm not meant to be here. I'm meant to learn something here because I'm going to be serving other people who are here. And I guess I need to have a story of letting them know I can identify. I can identify. I know what it is to be homeless. I know what it is to be carless. I know what it is to be phoneless. And listen, my friend, but I know what it is also to trust in a living God, and this to listen, my friend, and to obey his voice. And there was a connection made. Somebody said, look, I got this little trailer, and they had a little phone, old-fashioned phone, like not the dial thing, but the old-fashioned phone thing that sits there. And I called this guy. He says, Doc, we've been looking for you, man. Your phone's messed up for some reason. I said, don't worry about that. And he said, man, I got this company wants you to speak and train for them. I said, I'll take it. He said, well, I didn't even tell you. I said, I'll take it. Make a long story short, that's the company I'm talking about. So imagine this: you're carless, homeless, phoneless, but you're walking around saying, I'm blessed and highly favored. I'm blessed by the best. I'm a rich man, happens to be low on cash, but God and I are changing that fast. And listen, because watch this: as a kingdompreneur, as one who surrenders to the King of Kings. See, entrepreneur is great, but that's doing it the world's way. Entrepreneur is great. That means you're aligning your strength and your power. But a kingdompreneur means I fall under the rulership of the King of Kings. And now he makes me a king under him and makes me now a king over my thing and makes you ladies a queen over your scene. And again, my friend, you can't explain it. See, this kind of success, you can't explain. I never made more than, listen, most at that point I made was $12,000 a month. And here I was making now $100,000 a month. Oh, by the way, went from homeless to living in a mini mansion. By the way, I had to pay cash for a car because then, but I was making 25 grand every week anyway. But what I'm saying is this: and the story was made to inspire people. So when I put in my book, so people are like, man, the page 90 is the most inspiring page. And I was like, why? And it's because of that period that I went through. But see, you got to know who you are. And so the scripture says this: it says, the just shall live by faith. And so here's what I realized: it says, the just shall live by his faith. And I took that H, and it's like the Lord said, make it capital. The just shall live by his faith. His faith. And guess what? His faith, he believes you're more than a conqueror. He believes you're an overcomer. Now, an overcomer doesn't mean you won't have any problems, but an overcomer means whatever comes against you, you know you have the power to overcome it. And sometimes it doesn't unfold until right at that moment. I mean, sometimes like those Egyptians, which by the way, those Egyptians, I mean, Israelites that were serving those Egyptians, listen, my friend, and now they're coming out of freedom, but now they're stuck. There's this Red Sea. Like, what do we do? And God says, no, just go forward. And how do you go forward? There's an ocean in front of you. There's a river. It's like, what do we? And all of a sudden, it starts to part. It's supernatural. Some people say, well, I just don't believe that. Okay, well, you don't believe it, you won't see it. If thou canst believe, all things are possible to him that believeth. I'm telling you, my friend, kingdompreneur, learn and do business God's way with God's blessings. See, we kingdompreneurs, we don't operate out of hatred. We don't operate out of hurt. We don't operate all that. No, we don't operate out of trying to lord over somebody. No. We operate out of service to the King of Kings, and then we operate out of servicing humanity, my friend. And that the more, like Jesus said, the servant is the greatest of all. The more people that we serve, then the greater influence and the greater income. And so went on, my friend, at one point in my life, I was the number one income earner, number one recruiter in 3 companies simultaneously when everybody was saying you can only do one thing at a time. And one of those companies, my friend, one of those companies, we had 1.5 million people on our team. I was the international training director for that company, and I helped them grow to 2.2 million. 1.5 million was on my team alone. And people kept saying, how do you do that? Well, I got a partner. I co-labor with God. I don't work for God, with God. And I'm telling you, God wants to work miracles in and through your life. But you got to learn, my friend, again, I don't say, well, entrepreneur. No. I'm a kingdompreneur. I'm submitted to the kings. Luke 12:32, fear not, little flock. It is your Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom. So when I realize who I am, whose I am, he says I'm blessed. So you got to learn, get this now, to activate your anointed, blessed consciousness. See, some of us have this broken down limitation consciousness. You are already everything. Listen, God put in you everything you need. But you know what, my friend? It's personal. It's not really personal growth. It should be, it's revelation, my friend. It's realizing we already are. We just got to break off those limitations that have been put on us than sometimes we put on ourselves. I am telling you, you're more powerful than you understand. I'm telling you, my friend, when you allow the King of Kings, when you allow, my friend, his power to flow through you, he'll give you witty inventions. He'll give you ideals. They said to George Washington Carver, how in the world you saved the agricultural South? How in the world did you do it? He said, I woke up every day at 4 o'clock in the morning. I read my Bible on the stump, and then I would pray and say, God, give me ideals, give me concepts, like Proverbs 8:12. Now I knowledge, give thee wisdom of witty inventions. And he said, God would speak to me. And he said, and I would go do what he said. And from that came 300 different things that came from the peanut and the sweet potato. I'm telling you, my friend, kingdompreneur, the art of doing business God's way with God's blessing as I submit to him, because I realize he's going to bless me. He has blessed me. So he's empowered me to prosper. So when he calls me to do things and looks like it's impossible, I'm like, no, the very word impossible, put a space between the M and the P. It says, I'm possible. My friend, you are powerful, more powerful than you know. But your power is when you plug into the power, my friend, from above. You plug into the power of the King of Kings that said, listen, I want to make you a king over your thing. I want to make you a queen over your scene. Submit to me, my friend, and watch what happens. And align with principles that come right from the book, the Bible. Basic instructions before leaving earth is what they say. I say breakthrough insights, bringing life's enrichments. So I got to close, but I want you to know, that he can do Ephesians 3:20, unto him that's able to do exceeding abundantly above all we can ask or think, according to the power that worketh in us. But I kept stopping that power. I kept saying, well, I don't have enough degrees. I don't have enough this. And I don't have, now I got a bunch of them now, but I'm saying back then. But then I realized, no, the main degree I needed was to submit and trust him. And when I trust and I submit and do things his way, his richest blessings fall. And he starts doing things like I never dreamed. Like I never dreamed that I'd be speaking all 50 states and 28 countries. I just surrendered to him. He said, cast your net over here. I didn't ever dreamed I'd get paid $1,000 a minute to speak. I never, like, how's that possible? I'm the guy to be like, hey, I'll just speak for free. I just want to bless people. But I'm telling you, when you do business the King's way. So I'm going to close this illustration. This is what I do in life. I don't know if you can see this. Yeah. Okay, Doc, here we go. And you know what? Sometimes you can't even demonstrate it. So a lot of people, life blows out the flame. Like we're trying, and after a while, you just drowning in debt, low esteem, all that. You just, and then you know what? Here's what happens. You try, give me your best. Dr. Harris, Dr. Herbert, I'm Dr. Stan is, and as a kingdompreneur, you realize here's all we do. I just come alongside, right? But guess what? And, but your wick is wet. It's just not. You know what? As often as you need to come on here on this Saturday, as often as you need, my friend. You know what I found out? And when they burn together, they burn brighter. And you know another thing I found out? Give this about a day or two. It dries out. It'll. But in the meantime, Doc, I'm gonna do it. So I go to the Lord. Say, Lord, I need a fire. Fire me up. All right, son. Here you go. And that's what the world's looking for. There are people dying on the vine. They need some help. They need to be fired up. And my goal in life is to be like Samson, that took 300 foxes and tied their tails together and put them on fire. And everywhere they went, everything they brushed up against was on fire. My friend, I'm trying to tell you, my friend, your time, listen carefully, my friend, you're like the caterpillar in some cases, but you don't understand. Once you go through that cocoon, the dark place, the lonely place, the seemingly impossible get out of place, you're going to be able to soar and fly like a beautiful butterfly. So your time as a caterpillar has expired. Your wings are now ready. It's time to fly, my friend, in business. Fly financially. It's time to fly, my friend, in your relationship. It's time to fly. You've been crawling long enough, my friend. Wake up. You've been blessed of the Most High. Wake up, my friend. He wants to work through you. And we want here to be a blessing to you. So thank you so much, Doc. And my newest book, Kingdompreneur, The Art of Doing Business God's Way. I'd love for you to get it if you think it could bless your life. It's full of the best things that I teach about literally how to align yourself so that God works through you in miraculous. I mean, it's good to have the natural, but when you have the super on top of that natural, you can't explain it, my friend. People can't explain it. Matter of fact, here's the illustration. This one missionary, mightily used of God. And they said, how do you explain why God did such great things in your life? He said, I think God looked down to find the most insignificant man he could find, and he found me. And he said, I'm going to use him because if I do it through him, everybody will know it wasn't him. It was me working through him. And that, my friend, that is going to be the greatest flex we could ever have, is that we do business in such a way that people say, wait a minute, that can't, he's pretty sharp, but that ain't him. That man, how are you doing that? It's not me, it's how we are doing that. So Kingdompreneur, the art of doing business God's way. If you could check it out on drbreakthrough.com. And Dr. Harris, everybody that is on this Zoom or everybody's seeing it, we'll give at least, if you go to drbreakthrough.com and order the book, I'll give you an 8-day, 7-night, luxurious 4- and 5-star vacation. All you do is pay the taxes. I mean, if you go on an Oprah show, you know, you get a car, you get a car, you get a car. Well, they forgot to tell you, you got to pay the taxes, right? And if you get an inheritance from your rich uncle, you still got to pay the taxes. Matter of fact, even Jesus said, we went to tax. He said, okay, catch this. Okay, get paying it. If Jesus paid taxes, how are you going to get out of paying tax? So anyway, so all you got to do is pay a little fee, just the taxes. And like Ron, I will, Reverend Aki, they both bought the book and went on vacation. And Ron, I think, went to the Bahamas with his wife, beachfront resort, and they paid like $400 in taxes. And they found other people had paid $5,000 and $6,000 for that resort. Reverend Akia Heem, you know, he just went a couple hours from his house, but he said he and his wife fell in love again. So anyway, it's valued at $2,500 to $5,400. No strings, no tricks. So again, you go to drbreakthrough.com. And again, if you're one of the first 30 to order that book, you'll get that my gift to you, Again, valued at up to $5,400. We want to bless you with that. Okay? Because we want to get the message out. We want to get the word out, my friend. There's strategies in this book that changed my life or continuing changing my life. And I like to personally, if you get on Amazon, I can't, but if you get on drbreakthrough.com, I'm going to write a message to you, and then we're going to send you that special gift for the first 30 people. So take action. drbreakthrough.com. God bless you.
Wow, wow, wow. Doc, I'll tell you something, man. You gave us wings to fly. As they say, if this doesn't set you on fire, your wood is wet. But you know what? That's a powerful message. And I love your demonstration because, when people can see the demonstration, when you get weak and when you get tired and when you sick and tired of being sick and tired,
Come on.
and you can align yourself with God, align yourself with the Creator, align yourself with that consciousness that created all things, that, as you said, that created the universe. What is beyond the universe? That which created the universe. So, Doc,
Mm.
thank you so much for an incredible lesson. I know I can't wait for our discussion today. This is one of the most well attended talks we've had in a while. And so you are magnetic. You draw unto you. Light always draws darkness. Light always
Mm.
attracts anything that's out there in the universe. When you're a child and you're in the country and you go up to the front door and you don't see anything, but the moment you turn on the front door, light, everything is attracted. Lights, bugs, eh, all forms of life are attracted to the light. And Doc, what you laid out
Mm.
today was light and process. As you say,
Mm.
when the moment you stop thinking that you know everything, that you've got all the answers, that it's you that's doing it. You know, that's that when you change the ego to we go. Say, well, who's the we?
Come on.
The we is you and God.
Hey, by the way, Doc, if you turn I to we, it turns the word illness to wellness.
Woo!
And
Okay,
so
now.
when I was like, I got to this, I got to that, and then I learned, no, we. He said he wants to be co-laborers.
Yes, yes, yes.
What? He want
Wow.
to go in business with me? Like,
Yes. Wow. Well, let
anyway,
me let me end our broadcast. Those of you on YouTube, because I know the discussion is going to be powerful. So everybody on Zoom, hold on. On YouTube, we want to thank you so much for being with us this morning. I know that you're going to sit back and listen to this broadcast two, three, four times because there's so many nuggets. It's like you walked into the gold mine of life. All you have to do now is just pick them up, take them, and use them as your guiding light to help you be what you want to be, do what you want to do, and have anything you desire, always knowing that the best is yet to come. And so it is.